Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today you are going to learn exactly how to create amazing writing samples that get you paid to write even if you have zero experience and even if you have never been published online before. You're going to learn the exact approach I took to creating my own samples that helped me get over $800 in paid writing jobs my first month as a full-time freelance writer, and after that I went on to make $5,000 a month just 4 months later. And it all started with my writing portfolio and writing samples using the method you are going to learn about today. Now, if you are new around here, hello and welcome. My name is Jorden from writingrevolt.com, where I teach you all about how to become a better and higher paid writer. Make sure you subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more videos like this one. And if you're ready to learn how to create your first ever writing samples, then just keep watching. All right, so what are we going to cover today? What exactly are you going to learn? Well, we are going to talk about the #1 mistake beginner freelance writers make with their writing samples, how to get published writing samples fast when you have no experience, my top tools for making sure that your writing samples don't suck, the key thing you've got to have in every single writing sample, meaning you are totally wasting time. You should not even start writing if you do not have this first. And I'm going to show you examples of how to approach your writing samples as a total beginner. So let's just dive right in with the #1 mistake beginner freelance writers make with their writing samples. And that mistake is approaching their samples from a writer's perspective and not a salesperson's perspective. In other words, approaching it like an artist and not a business owner. Look, if you're trying to become a freelance writer or a copywriter, there is an art and a science to it, right? But what so many beginner freelance writers do is they focus fully on the art of writing. Lots of flowery words, and maybe even some of the samples are fiction or poetry or things like that. You cannot have that in your freelance writing samples. And you cannot be approaching it like a college essay or like creative writing or fiction. I want to make this point really clear. You got to get it in your mind that you are going to create 2 to 3 writing samples that are relevant to your freelance writing niche. And your niche is just your area of specialization. So you're not just going to throw a college essay, a piece of poetry, and an excerpt from your fiction book in this portfolio, okay? You are going to create 2 to 3 samples that are the exact kind of work you want to get paid to do. So in other words, if you are marketing yourself as a finance blog post writer, you can go ahead and put 2 to 3 finance blog posts in your writing portfolio. Now, to be clear, when I say portfolio, I am talking about 1 page on your bigger freelance writing business website. As a freelance writer, your website is mybusinessname or myname.com. You gotta have a custom domain. Don't go out there and pitch clients with this unprofessional shit like myname.wordpress.com or just like a 1-pager portfolio with a resume on it. That might be okay for trying to get a full-time job or a contract. That is not okay for starting an actual business. You need a full-on business website. I have a video as well as a free tutorial blog post super in-depth on exactly how to do that, so I'll link it above my head and down below so you can't miss it. And I also have a link for you to get a free domain and a discount on your hosting via Bluehost, so you can check that down below in the description box as well. Alright, moving right along to part 2, which is how you're gonna get published writing samples when you have no experience. Well, you have 3 options here. The first one is that you self-publish these pieces. So you can do this using Medium or LinkedIn Publisher or something like that. It is totally up to you, but you still want to link out to the piece, okay? And again, it is just 1 page on your website that houses your portfolio, aka your writing samples. That's not the home page of your site. It's 1 page on your website. So self-publishing is a great option. The next option is to guest post. That just means you come on as a guest blog post writer for someone else's website. Tons and tons of sites accept this sort of thing. I actually have a full-on roundup of sites that will pay you to write for them, so I will link that above and below. That way you can check that out and start getting some guest posts. The third option is to do some pro bono projects, and that just means you're gonna work for free. Now, before you go do this, I want you to listen. I gotta make this clear. You are not gonna work for free for a long time. You aren't gonna do it for a massive project. You are gonna get those first 2 to 3 writing samples, do those, and then never work for free again, okay? You wanna start getting paid after that. On that note, do not expect those pro bono clients to end up being clients who pay you really well later on, okay? You want to do one and done types of projects for these free projects, because just like your $50 client is never going to become a $5,000 client, your $0 client probably not going to end up paying you very well either, because your value is kind of already set in their mind. Once they have accepted free work from you, that's kind of what they're going to expect and the value they're going to place on you, whether that is your actual value or not. Just a tip to make sure that you don't get get stuck in that cycle of writing for free, please do not do that. Make sure you limit it to just 2 to 3 pieces if that is the route you decide to go for your first ever samples. Moving right along to part number 3, which is my top tools for making sure that your writing samples don't suck. Basically, these are just tools to help you improve your writing samples before you hit publish. The first one is Hemingway app, and the thing I love about Hemingway app is that it tells you what your reading level is. Now, if you are copywriting, you need to be writing at a middle school reading level. Not this flowery stuff, not this creative writing where you show off your vocabulary, a middle school reading level. Super important, so go check that app out and add it to your list of tools that you use every day, especially if you are a beginner freelance writer. The second tool is actually a graphic design tool, which is Canva. If you want to add some awesome pictures or graphics or whatever, even videos to your blog posts, this is an amazing tool for that. I use Canva like just about every day. I would say definitely every week in my business. And I do have the pro plan, but you can start off with a free plan and that is just fine. It is an amazing tool. I highly recommend you go check it out. The third type of tool you can use is a grammar checker. Now, if you struggle with grammar, I highly recommend actually getting a real live human to check over your work. Hire a proofreader for all of your work and then build that into your freelance writing rates. Now, if that isn't realistic for you at first, cool. Go use something like Grammarly or Pro Writing Aid, something really simple to check your grammar. But keep in mind, these tools are not perfect, okay? So you've still got to know the basics. Sometimes these will give you bad advice. You just gotta have to take what these tools are telling you with a grain of salt. Do keep that in mind. They're great tools, but you always want to have that in the back of your head. Now let's talk about part 4, which is so important. And if you're zoning out, I need you to tune in right now. Like, get your brain back into listening mode, because this is one of the most important factors to creating writing samples that actually sell. And it may surprise you, but this is actually the defining difference between writing samples that get the writer nowhere and writing samples that get the writer published and paid. And this key thing is niche relevance. I cannot stress the importance of this enough. You must make sure that your writing samples are niche relevant. Do you want to be a beauty blogger? Then have 2 to 3 beauty blogging writing samples. On the other hand, if you want to be a finance blogger, have those kinds of samples. Really, really important to go all in on your niche. From a marketing and positioning perspective, this is how you're going to stand out and you can get hired over writers who have even more experience than you but aren't marketing themselves as well or as specialized. Now again, keep in mind that your writing samples or portfolio, that's just one page on your overall freelance writer website. Your entire freelance writer website should be niche optimized and speak directly to your target clients based on your freelance writing niche. I don't even know how many times I'm going to say the word niche today, probably a lot, but that is because it is so important. Literally every single one of my student success stories for my best-selling program, Killer Cold Emailing, have gone through this niching process. It's what's going to be the game changer for you and make all the difference in your writing career. So make sure you do this. If you have any questions about how to pick a niche, pop them in below. I'll also include a link to my free guide with 101 awesome and profitable freelance writing niches for beginners. So head down to the description box and check that out. And now on to part number 5, which is some examples of beginner level writing samples. I'm going to pop some of my beginner writing samples up here on the screen and you can see how these are very niche relevant. Are these the best pieces of writing on the whole planet? No. But are they niche relevant and did they get me hired? Yes, they absolutely did. And that is all you can really hope for. That's all you want, right? To get hired based on your writing samples. Now there's a lot of variation in samples because a case study is going to be different from a blog post, which is going to be different from website copy, and so on and so forth. But I think by now you can understand the main thing you got to do is focus on niche relevance and only put writing samples in your portfolio that are in the industry that you are niched down into. I would love to hear your thoughts below. Let me know what questions you have about your writing samples. And before you go, make sure that you sign up for my brand new masterclass. I totally revamped this class all about how to make your first $1,000 freelance writing in 45 days or less, even if you got 0 experience and you are a total beginner. Again, this is an all new version, so even if you've taken it with me in the past, go ahead and sign up again because I totally gave this class a makeover and updated it. It's going to show you even more about how to create your portfolio. It's going to teach you the exact step-by-step process for a profitable freelance writing niche, and you're going to learn the #1 method I use to get high-paying freelance writing clients as a beginner and college dropout out right after I lost my shitty full-time job. So yeah, it's good stuff. Click over now and check that out. And with that being said, that's it for today. So it is time for Tito to pick out his favorite comment of the day. I think he is snoring with his eyes open right now, so he's really just so thrilled to be in this video. Tito's favorite comment of the day he picked today says, 10 minutes in and I am ready to like and subscribe. Thank you for this great video and valuable and free information. Stay real. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all of your supportive and encouraging comments. Thank you so much for keeping this community a positive and encouraging place. It really means a lot to me. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button because it really does help my channel out, and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more videos just like this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.